I'm Nathan. I go by Peteparker, and every week I do comic book reviews because that's the rule around my house. If I want to keep buying them, then I have to review them online. So this review is going to be for Deadman and the Flying Graysons #1. This is a Flashpoint tie-in for the DC books. Another one of the books that I'm trying out to test out the waters of the DC universe in general, which is kind of ironic to do now right before everything changes, but I'm really generally enjoying Flashpoint more or less, even though I don't have a lot of invested in these characters. So we'll see how it all turns out. So in this story, basically you follow Deadman, who's the main performer in a circus more or less, and there's another team of acrobats who do stuff at the same time that he does, which is the Flying Graysons. I think it's Dick Grayson and his mom and dad are all together in there. And then there's a couple other characters in there. There's King Shark, some flexible human pretzel guy. I don't remember. Ragdoll is probably his name. And then Dr. Fate. I think it's Dr. Fate. Maybe it's just Fate. I thought his name was Dr. Fate, but I don't really know. So you get them going through the circus here. This is written by J.T. Kroll, and the artist is Mikel Janin. And you get some basic backstory. They're in a circus. They got trapped in Europe after half of Europe was flooded by the Atlanteans. And they're slowly making their way inland, trying to make money and put on the circus still for everybody else to try to take their minds off the horror story that happened just recently. And this is the Haley Circus, which is interesting. That guy might be a character somewhere. So as they move inland, there's a good picture of King Shark. It's pretty cool. I really like King Shark in this in general. He except he's got a weird diaper thing going on. And then there's a good map in here. Check out that map as they're moving inland. Kind of shows you exactly where the coast is now, which is pretty cool. And the Alps are mostly underwater except for the very tip. So Deadman is kind of a jerk in this. He thinks he's like the biggest name in the whole circus, and he feels really put out that he's stuck in Europe. He wanted to go back and work in Wayne Enterprises casinos or whatever. And people are starting to get tired of him generally being that way. So when he tries to take off Dr. Fate's mask because the guy wasn't helping putting up a tent or whatever, he sees a little vision of the future of Dick Grayson being dead and him standing over him, and that he's going to be haunted by death. And then at the same time, some Amazonians or Amazons attack the coastal city that they were just in, looking for the helmet of Dr. Fate's helmet, or I don't know what it's called. What is it called? The Helm of Naboo. I don't know if that's true in the regular series either, if that was an Amazonian helmet that Dr. Fate took over, but that's kind of cool. It's also kind of cool how Dick's mask happens to be a bat, even though there's nothing to do with bats in their whole act or whatever. But that's pretty cool. And then they have a conversation about how Dick Grayson is really good, almost as good as Deadman. And Deadman doesn't understand why he lets his parents hold him back. And he explains that Deadman doesn't understand because he could never trust anybody as much as Dick trusts his parents. And then right as they're about to go on stage, the Amazonians attack. So it's probably going to be that during the Amazonians attack, Dick dies, maybe. Or maybe he just gets hurt. I don't know. So it was an interesting story. I like exploring these new characters more or less. They're new to me. They're generally pretty cool in a lot of ways. I don't really fully understand what Deadman's ability is beyond just being a good acrobat. He looks a lot like Daredevil with his red suit and the big D on there, and then his eyes blanked out. And then there's Man Shark or King Shark or whatever he is. I thought that was really cool, except he wears like a furry diaper, which isn't very cool. Doesn't look very comfortable. I was trying to compare this scene here. Man Shark is using 2 sledgehammers to drive a stake in at the same time, and then over on the other side there's like 5 guys, each with their own, trying to hit it in. So he's just going boom, boom, boom. Pretty cool how strong he is. I wonder if he can talk. Didn't show if he talked or not, because it would seem that he would breathe water. He's not a mammal. Why else would he have gills, right? So I guess I don't understand king shark. Somebody else can explain it to me. But anyway, Deadman and the Flying Circus, or Flying Graysons, I'll probably give this a 3 out of 5. It was interesting, it was good, the art was good. I'd probably put the art at like a 4 out of 5. But there's nothing really here to really tie me in. I might look at the next one and see what happens, but it's kind of, they're foreshadowing a lot, and then it's just going to wrap up really quick. Maybe there's only like 3 issues, so that's what's going to happen. So there you go. Another DC one, right? 3 out of 5 on that one. You can check out my other reviews on YouTube as Spidey207 or elsewhere as Peteparker. But until then, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening.